Welcome back to Goody Graps. So next weekend is WrestleMania, and throughout the year we've gotten like a lot of builds to a lot of the matches and angles that we're going to be seeing play out. And I don't know, like some people feel kind of underwhelmed. They feel like there was like a lot of obvious matches to build to that like Triple H kind of just like bypassed in order to try some other things, but I'm still excited for WrestleMania and how everything's going to turn out. And today we're just going to go through 18 of like the different exciting stories that we're looking at heading into WrestleMania, and we're going to rank them from worst to best. We've kind of split them into 5 tiers. Those tiers are: why is this happening? There were better stories left on the table. Dog shit, but entertaining, has had moments, and cinema. So, without any further ado, starting at number 18, we have the Hall of Fame. I feel like this year's Hall of Fame class has left a lot to be desired. Triple H is the headliner, which, round of applause for Paul. Very deserving. But it does feel like since he's the booker, he's like kind of putting himself in there, and that's like rubbing some people the wrong way. Do you think that maybe they should have waited until like after maybe he steps down as like the head like COO and like has passed booking on to the next person to then induct him?
They could have waited. I mean, they typically like to wait till the person is dead to induct them, so at least he is alive to see it.
Yeah, I feel like with that being said, there's like a lot more like people who aren't like in charge of the company who like have given lots their bodies over the years and have had like a lot of wear and tear. And we were watching The Wrestler not too long ago, and we see Randy the Ram and a lot of like people who like that's their reality, who where a nice Hall of Fame ceremony would be something that could, you know, they could use the money, they could use like the welfare from the appearance and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it would go a long way, and it would mean a lot.
And just getting their flowers while they're alive.
Definitely.
But even without like that being said, Triple H, he deserves it. Michelle McCool, I think she deserves it too. Some people don't. I don't understand why The Undertaker's inducting her. We get it. You're married, but like you have never interacted on screen throughout y'all's entire career. This feels like Big Mark has just been pulling a lot of favors lately.
Yeah.
And we've been noticing. I know what you are, Big Mark. But besides that, Lex Luger, he's getting in. I think that's deserving for like fans of WCW and that era, big '90s wrestler. It's a shame that Sting won't be able to induct him since Sting's still employed by AEW. I think that like when it comes to legends and people who like their heyday was outside of one of the 2 major companies, that like pride can be put aside, like handshake deals and whatnot. Appearances can be made, but like at the end of the day, like this is a sport that everyone loves, and we should all be able to like enjoy each other's moments and celebrate it and not have it turn into like tribalism and make it political. But anyway, the Hall of Fame is the thing that I think next week I'm looking forward to the least. And no disrespect to any of the people getting inducted, like congrats, but why is this happening? Something had to kick off the why is this happening tier.
Definitely.
And I feel like if we have like years where like maybe a lot of the people that you want to induct, like their schedules can't like make it happen, there's nothing wrong with taking a year off. I don't think that it has to be an annual thing. Like I feel like it means more when the people that you put in there like earned it and it's merit, and it's not just like you're scrambling every year like, okay, who's been retired for a while? Oh yeah, you remember them? Yeah, let's give them a ring too.
Yeah.
So getting into matches, the worst thing that I think, and I believe you kind of feel the same way about this, at number 17, we have
Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. We put it at number 17, but it may be the thing I'm least looking forward to about WrestleMania, and nothing to do with Rey Mysterio.
And you know what? I know how much Chad Gable is not like well liked on this channel, but I also want to say that this is not his fault either. Like, he's just
Yeah.
playing the character that has
Yes.
been written for him. But, like,
Terrible character.
we could have gotten Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable proper at WrestleMania, and I wouldn't have had any problem with that. Why are we bastardizing the heritage of luchadors for, like, a cheap heat, like, blow-off? Like, yes, it's going to be Rey Mysterio triumphs and rips off the mask, and we see it's Chad Gable, and ha, 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 like, some kids will laugh, but most wrestling fans are smart enough to, like, understand what's going on, and it's not funny nor is it cute. It's just a waste of everyone's time. And this is the kind of humor that was like relied upon in like the early 2000s when like wrestling was at its lowest. And it just feels like really cheap to like kind of go back to relying on that, especially considering the talent of the like involved wrestlers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do better. Why is this happening?
Why is it happening?
Next, at number 16, we have the build between United States champion Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega. So during this like little transfer portal window, whatever we're calling it, when some people were changing shows, I thought it was really good to get Zelina Vega away from LWO, let her stand on her own, do her own thing.
I agree.
And since arriving on SmackDown, all we get is like the, oh, hey, I want that title, blah, blah, blah. You know, like the quick little witty, like, quirks backstage. But then in ring, like, the Secret Service beats the shit out of her week after week after week. And she gets friends, and they beat them too. And it doesn't feel like anything is really developing. Like, we don't have a backstory on the Secret Service. Why Alba is, like, suddenly aligned with Piper and Chelsea. And it's just like, if you pay attention on Twitter, you see like Chelsea might tweet out a picture of all of them in the same promotion like years ago. And it's like, oh, so like they have history. That's not addressed on commentary. It's like the talent are having to go build their own stories off screen, like on social media, and lend that to like what's going on.
Yeah.
And it makes it hard to follow. Like, I don't want to have to do extra research. It's like, you remember when Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars and started making all those other shows?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, so before I go see this next Spider-Man movie, there's been 4 entire like shows, like season 1, another movie, season 2, and then like a little mini series that I have to catch up with to like know who these background characters are and just know their story. That's too much for me to keep up with. And you have 3 hours of TV time. You do like 50 reruns of something that happened on your other shows throughout the week. It's just really dumb to me.
Yeah.
And like, we'll get to the Intercontinental Championship later, but it just feels like the women's mid-card titles, you introduce them and not a lot of care has gone into building the divisions around them. And a lot of that's indicative of like SmackDown struggling in the 3-hour format, like with not having a 3-hour roster. And the guys that they do have on SmackDown and girls that they do have on SmackDown aren't being like utilized properly. So I don't know. It just feels like this is another why is this happening? It's going to happen in a 3-on-3 tag on the SmackDown before WrestleMania. So like they're not actually making the show, which sucks because I think Chelsea's done a lot of really good work this year. Piper as well. Caden and Katana like are constantly like showing that they are a real team and like they use tag team offense and have like an exciting tag team moveset. So seeing a proper feud build between them and the Secret Service will be like nice, but this is the first of like a lot of things that I feel like are going to end up being the beginning of stories that are going to like continue after WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's just kind of how we feel about that. Next at number 15, we have the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. This is just going to be like filler with everyone that didn't end up making the WrestleMania card.
Right.
And who do you think is going to end up winning that?
I don't know who's in it.
No, none of us do.
Oh.
It's just like whoever didn't make WrestleMania. I don't think Sheamus has a match. So my choice is Sheamus, I guess, or Andrade.
Yeah, I think my money's on Andrade.
The Andrade the Giant Battle Royale. They got to give him something. I mean, he's just been like backstage for months waiting on an opportunity.
Yeah.
And this is just another why is it happening? I know why it's happening. Everyone deserves that WrestleMania check and like to perform in front of that big Vegas crowd. There's going to be a lot of celebrities there, but this just feels like another what are we doing here? And the last match that we have in this category, again, why is this happening? We have War Raiders versus New Day.
Yeah.
Casey, how do you feel about the New Day since their turn on Big E?
Honestly, I don't feel anything about them at all. Like, I don't hate them. I feel indifferent. I think they're not entertaining anymore.
And that's crazy because we're talking about the New Day, one
I
of
love
the
the New Day.
most
I love
entertaining like groups of all time. Like they've been there, they've done that. There's so much like meat on the bones that's still left for them, and we're sitting here just completely unfazed by everything that they've got going on recently, and that's a shame. The War Raiders, love those guys too. This just isn't a very entertaining story, but
Yeah.
Hey, I hope that they kill it in ring, and kudos to them for making WrestleMania. But on to this next tier. This is just a tier of there were better stories left on the table. And, I mean, part of me doesn't like calling it that because I don't like getting in too much of a mindset of like fantasy booking as like a viewer because I feel like so many people in like the audience will think of okay, this should happen and this should happen, and then get disappointed when it doesn't.
Right.
But there's absolutely no reason AJ Styles should be fighting Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. I don't know.
So this is like what the sixth segment that we've discussed, and AJ is just I don't. AJ Styles is one of the best wrestlers of all time, and he's in like the last stages of his career, and the best thing that we got for him is Logan Paul. And again, this is another one where Karrion Kross is doing the heavy lifting for building this. He's the
Yeah.
one approaching AJ backstage and giving like these impassioned Twitter promos that are actually giving a story of, okay, we have a long-established world-traveled veteran and a YouTuber who jumps the line, and if you don't beat him, it makes everything that everyone else who's like fought for this for years has done mean nothing. Like that is something that you can get behind. That is something that you can sink your teeth into. What Triple H is doing is having AJ Styles go protect Andrew Schultz on Monday Night Raw. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing
It's
here?
embarrassing.
This is fucking embarrassing. What do we have next? LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
It's like a step above Logan Paul and AJ Styles.
This is one of the matches that so when you look at like the build, SmackDown and their US title scene had several contenders, and it feels like that should have been a multi-man match. Like LA Knight and Jacob Fatu and Solo and maybe Jimmy. Like there's a lot of different people who have been hovering around that US title. Whereas on Raw, the Intercontinental title has kind of just been like Braun Breaker and Penta having a feud. So that probably should have been the one-on-one match, and this should have been the multi-man. But, I mean, at this point, like, who can really afford the loss there? LA Knight or
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu doesn't really lose a lot, but this feels like another one. Like, this is the beginning of his feud with Solo.
Yeah.
So I can see him winning, but I can also see LA Knight retaining because Solo costs
I
Jacob.
think Jacob Fatu is going to win.
I don't know. I can't say for certain because LA Knight like just got the belt back, and if he doesn't have the U.S. title, like now it's his second time winning it, what really do you have for him to do? Like, are you going to move him up to the WWE title, or is he going to like go to Raw, try to go for one of those belts, tag team or something? Like, I don't know. But yeah, next we have like two other guys who probably are in that same boat, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. And I
Yeah.
will say lately, like this has been like building up. So I'm glad that we are doing like a worst to best because like with each match, it's like a segment or two from each of these like guys that I like a bit more. And I don't know, like Damien and Drew are like, in a way, they've made Damien like really unlikable with like his Superman booking and him like indestructible to like everyone.
Yeah.
But that also has made him feel like a worthy, like credible challenger to Drew. And it's like they trade off like 1 week I get the best of you, 1 week you get the best of me. And they're gonna have like a street fight, so it's gonna be like the big hardcore match with all the weapons and stuff for the weekend. And they're two big guys. They're gonna hit each other hard. Like it's fine. The story there, like Drew definitely should have been part of like this Roman Seth Punk thing, and Damian Priest should be doing God knows what. I'd probably put him in the U.S. title scene with those other guys.
Yeah.
But it keeps Damian at a main event level. It gives Drew something to do. Like I don't know. I think Drew should win.
Yeah.
Just
I
after
agree.
like he lost the feud to Punk, he lost at the Rumble. He's not in the main event. Like Drew losing, I think hurts him more than like Damian looking good in defeat helps him.
Yeah. That was 11.
11. So what do we have at number 10?
Number 10 is the Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns and DIY and Pretty Deadly.
Yeah. So it feels like SmackDown's been building to like a 5-way. They've had like the Garzas and Pretty Deadly and DIY and Street Profits all hovering around, and the belts have been like kind of ping ponged around between a few of the different teams. And this is another match that is getting put on the Friday Night SmackDown before WrestleMania as opposed to on WrestleMania. Like this deserves a WrestleMania spot more than the New Day versus War Raiders.
Yeah.
By far. But it's going to be an entertaining match. I personally, like, this is wishful thinking and, again, fantasy booking, but I think there's going to be some shenanigans with the Street Profits versus Machine Guns match on SmackDown, and it's going to lead to them being added to the to WrestleMania. But it could just be a straightforward match, too. I don't know.
See.
It's a lot's left to be seen. What do we got next?
Number 9 is Liv Morgan and Raquel versus Lyra and Bayley. Yeah.
Y'all know how I feel about Lyra and Bayley. And it's like, I can't really be mad that, and Liv and Raquel, like these are 4 of my favorite women on the roster, and they're in a match together, and it's for the tag titles, which should make the tag titles feel important. But Lyra and Bayley should be fighting one-on-one. Liv and Raquel should be defending against like a proper tag team.
Yeah. That's fair.
This is just like, it's like we don't ask for a lot for the women. We just want their feuds to be treated the same as the guys' feuds. And there's enough depth and talent on the women's roster now where like you wouldn't see Braun Breaker and Penta teaming up to fight the War Raiders at WrestleMania, you know? That's just not something that would ever be thrown together the week before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And we just want to see the women treated with like a little bit more respect moving forward. But yeah. There's better stories left on the table for all 5 of those matches. And this next year, there's only one match in it, but there's a lot to be said about it. Like, so we might as well sink our teeth in. What do we got, Casey?
And the only one in the dog shit category is Tiffy versus Charlotte.
Tiffy and Charlotte has been a terrible build.
I just feel like they've switched angles multiple times, and it's left us all kind of confused. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
I think a huge problem, and it's like, if you look at Tiffy versus Charlotte, they're both heels. If you look at Rhea versus Io versus Bianca, they're all faces.
Yeah.
If you look at like, it feels like there's a couple of matches on here where they're leaning on like the heels fight heels, the baby faces fight baby faces. Like Seth, Punk, and Roman. I guess they're all tweeners. You can kind of go with whoever you want there, and because they've given like all of them like a reason to be like kind of like unlikable and likable, like you can make your own choice. With Tiffy versus Charlotte, they make Tiffy look like a geek every week, and they make Charlotte look like a just
A bully.
Yeah. a utter, like, just jerk.
Yeah.
She just looks like
She's mean.
a bitter, like, veteran who is just, like, trying to hold down, like, the new talent and not let them, like, get over and, like, just stomp out any moment that they have. And Tiffy just looks like a rattled kid who is just, like, not prepared for the moment or ready to be here. So with everything going south and going awry, that left them with no other choice but to start shooting. And I mean,
They did.
it got people talking and it got people excited for the match. And they followed up on that with like a little brawl angle, which like, I mean, cool. Like when it comes to like us ranking how excited we are for each of these, it made it right to the very middle. So based on the build, this is like the worst build. This is worse than El Grande versus Rey.
It's bad.
But somehow, some way, just like the magnitude of the stars involved and just like the anything can happen feel to it has made it captivating.
Yeah.
And whatever happens, like we're on the edge of our seat waiting to see how this plays out. So yeah. All right, so now the next category has had moments. And all of these are matches that I'm excited for. I think that all of them like are going to end up being really good and maybe retroactively we'll look back fonder on the builds, but like there's just not been enough to like put him up with like that next category that we have.
Definitely. So the next one that we have is Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn versus Dom.
I'm so excited for this.
I'm excited for it too, but it leaves me with a lot of questions. Like, what's going to happen afterwards, you know?
I think this is Finn's exit from the Judgment Day. Like, I think Liv, Raquel, maybe even Carlito are all going to assist in Dom winning and specifically pinning Finn to become the champion.
Oh,
I don't think
man.
I think that the reason this became a multi-man is because they don't want Bron to get pinned and they don't want Penta to get pinned.
Yeah.
So Finn Balor.
Not by Dom.
Finn Balor, you were one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, you're easily in my top, like, 4. Like,
Of all
currently,
time.
actively, as we speak. And that's, like, with you losing all the time. Brother, get ready to learn the lyrics to Dom Mysterio's
Dom's going to
theme
get that
because
IC title.
He is about to be the Intercontinental Champion. And I really enjoy, like, the nuance to, like, Dom, like, slowly but surely winning over, like, some, like, fans. Because I bought Dom stock real early when he was just, like, a despicable Weasley villain still getting booed out of the building. And I'm like, this guy is going to be amazing. And slowly but surely, like, he's having these matches. Like, his match with Penta is the best match he's ever
awesome.
had. And people are seeing the vision now. Dom has, like, actually improved.
The crowd is
being,
getting
like,
behind him. Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And he's young. He's fresh. He hasn't really had like his like breakout solo moment yet.
But he's put over so many other stars.
Yeah,
like Rhea Ripley, Liv, put over largely because of Dom.
Yeah,
Not
Carlito,
to say he's the only reason,
like,
but
everything he touches turns to gold. And I feel like the best is yet to come for him. And I think that this is going to be the start of like a huge year for Dominic Mysterio.
I hope so.
And we frequently like go back and watch the like Brock versus Eddie, and Bron versus Dom is like going to be the new age Brock Eddie.
It's going to be so beautiful.
Wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Cinema.
So what do we got next?
Up next, let's see. We got Io versus Bianca versus Rhea.
All right, so I've seen a lot of people talk about this one, and oh yeah, Rhea shouldn't be in the match, or Bianca shouldn't be in the match, or it should have just been Bianca versus Rhea. Like, I think the match itself is the exact match that we were supposed to get. It's just how we got there that like leaves a lot to be desired.
I wasn't crazy about the Rhea like inserting herself into the match and this whole like revenge thing that they're going for.
Yeah. And I don't like how no one's treating Io, the champ, like a credible threat.
Yeah, Io's the best. She's the genius of the sky.
Yeah.
And I could really see her winning at Mania.
And it feels like they've come to, like, they do the same segment every week. It's like Rhea and Bianca start yelling at each
fighting.
other. They ignore Io,
Io
push her out of the way, and then like Io gets fed up with it. And just considering the talent of the three women that you have involved, and like trust them, give them the ability to show you the depth to their characters.
Yeah.
Like you let Punk and Roman and Seth go out there and just like be themselves and show I can be good, I can be bad, I can be a human being with different motivations for my actions, and you as a fan can decide who you resonate with and who you want to support. Like,
and they could do this like these ladies have been in matches together since NXT. Like they've been working together for years and could do something so amazing if they just let them.
The story is there and they're just not telling it.
Yeah.
They're just like, okay, you got this woman and you got this woman, and she's involved in a whole different story, but she won the chamber, and she like got screwed out of her chamber shot, but then she won the championship by surprise, and she lost and she didn't earn anything, but she's hot and everyone likes her, so she's gonna come out and yell and say I deserve to be here and whine and moan and complain until they let her be in there. And it's like, okay, why is that the story we're telling? Like you said, they have so much history between them. They're so talented. And it's like you have three of the pillars of your women's division, like three like best in the world arguments. Like any other company on the planet would be besides themselves to have access to these three women and their talent. And to be able to have this match on this stage, this should be so big that like this should have been in contention for the main event, but it was never going to be the main event because of how stupid the story was.
Yeah.
And like when they try to like fall back on it didn't deserve to be the main event because the story wasn't there. You made the sandwich. Like, fuck are you talking about? Like the story's not going to be there unless you write a better story, but
yeah.
I digress.
Next at number 5, we have Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Come closer. Help me, brother. I love Gunther. Jimmy Uso saved this feud because the Jey Uso, yeet, I don't know how I feel. Yeet, Gunther might beat me. Yeet, I'm losing my confidence. Yeet, I'm not confident in myself anymore. Yeet, that was so ass. And we did that for like 6 weeks. And I understand that the Royal Rumble was like a while ago now, and you had a lot of time to cover, but they didn't have to make him choose Gunther immediately. He could have dwelled on it a bit more, and he could have like. I personally don't believe that like you build an underdog story by like making someone look like a geek.
Yeah.
Like,
and the whole angle with like Jey slipping and like, you know, having those little botches and stuff. I don't know. I didn't like that either. Like he's a great in-ring performer, and we've seen that. He won the Royal Rumble. Like
all the disrespect. People be yapping and shit like, oh yeah, he's a tag team guy. He's a career tag team guy, mid-card guy, or a merchant. He's a theme song and a catchphrase and blah, blah, blah. Like, bro is one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time. Like, the Usos are one of the best tag teams ever. Yeah. And people will be like, oh, well, have you not seen the Golden Lovers? Have you not seen the Rock and Roll Express? Fuck out of here. When I'm watching the Usos, I am captivated in what's happening on the screen. I've been captivated by Jey Uso as a performer for most of his career, and this is a moment that he's like grinded for and earned, and I feel like he deserved a better story than, oh, I've lost to this guy a bunch of times, but I believe that I can do it this time.
Yeah.
Like, one, they didn't have to burn the match at Saturday night's main event. Like, if that match doesn't happen, then like there's less of like this feeling going into this match about he's already lost like four times.
Right.
Plus, like, every time that, like, Jey has never, like, had Gunther on his heels. Like, Gunther's never looked weak throughout this entire build. And I know that Jey finally had his serious promo last week where, like, oh, I'm going to pray for what I'm going to do to you. And I feel like that promo, as well as, like, the segment the week before when Gunther beat Jimmy within an inch of his life.
Yeah.
Like, those are the two segments that have carried that to, like, this tier of it's had moments, but everything other than that, like, why is Jey hanging out with the Alpha Academy and trying to like get them to fight Gunther?
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Why is Jay fighting A-Town Down Under and beating Theory in 5 seconds? Like, what is that going to do to prepare you for Gunther?
Yeah.
You know?
It's been like a rocky road, but I feel like these last two matches have put it in a good spot.
The payoff will be great, and like I think Jay's gonna win, and I think Jay's gonna have his moment, and it'll be like worth it. But still, Gunther's amazing. I want Jay to win, and I want Gunther to get it right back at Backlash. Like let Jay have his moment, but Gunther, we're not done. We're not done. We need some more evil. Like he's just starting to hit his stride because they had him like do the Damien Priest matches twice, and like the Cody where he like lost his confidence to Cody shit too. Like they like nerfed Gunther for like 5-6 months, and like he's finally hitting his stride again. But they have to give it to Jay now. Or else if they don't,
they've built it up too much at this point.
If they don't give it to Jay, Jay's a dweeb for the rest of his career.
Yeah,
like he doesn't.
There's no more yeets. Like,
exactly
when he enters.
So they've really booked themselves into a corner. But like either way. Predictable doesn't always mean bad.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be a really feel good moment when Jay finally gets to hold that like above his head. And if they do go with the swerve of Gunther winning, it's gonna be like one of those like Brock Lesnar broke the streak, like, oh shit, did this actually happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have one more in this tier. What we got?
Number 4 is Cody Rhodes and John Cena.
Do 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 do.
Wabadoo.
Do 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 do. Yeah, this guy came back for his farewell tour and broke up with us. Yeah, it's just really rough. It's kind of hard to, spend your entire life being a fan of a guy, having him be your GOAT, going. And our first video, I ranted for like 10 minutes. I saw him in the Marine be a Marine. And now he's just like, nope, fuck you guys. All the other people that booed me made it.
We called him the Mickey Mouse of the WWE.
A bunch of times.
Yeah.
Before Santi's up. But it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So Cody Rhodes, he is the current John Cena. And John Cena doesn't like that very much. So he's aligned with Travis Scott and The Rock, and they're going to kick Cody Rhodes' ass. And that's kind of the story. And that's it. And there's not really much more to it. And you know what? Like, I know people, like, there's more, like, left to be desired, but I kind of don't mind that that's all that there is to the story because of how good these two are on the mic. You have two of, like, go ahead.
Sorry. There's almost like an underlying story there that they're not telling. Like this whole, like the passing of the torch from John to Cody of like, now you're the guy, you're the good guy, you're the superhero. And I'm going away and I'm evil.
Yeah. like that. Like it almost makes sense because when you think about wrestlers and how many people we see who struggle to like give it up. We see Ric Flair wrestle into his 70s and Mick Foley, like we just watched him and Edge fight and how old he was
and
when like
such
he was
a
getting
brutal
speared
match.
through like fire tables and shit.
Oh.
Like John Cena is one of the wrestlers who's getting to decide how he goes out and like go out on his own terms, and not a lot of people get that. So how do you like flip the story and apply it to John Cena? He can give it up, but he can't give up his top spot. He can't give up his position as the top dog. Like, you can do it, but you can't do it as well as I can. And that's what we've been building this around. And just Cody's ability to, like, I guess, yap until the point of, like, oh, this championship is so important, and that's why I want to hold it. Like, you buy into it. Cody's really good. He's a TED talker, and you go give him a microphone week after week, and he'll talk you into the building to come see his match. It's why he's the guy. It's why he's the quarterback, and why he's had a hell of a year as the champ. But number 17 is about to happen, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. Get ready to learn the words to "My Time Is Now." And now we have the last tier, which we consider to be cinema. I think that these 3 matches they've had the strongest build, the strongest story. The stories have been like long lasting, like over months that they've been built up.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of like character. And the funny thing about these, none of these are for a championship.
Yeah.
And that goes to show just like how invested in a story you can be and how good a build can be without a championship involved. So,
Yeah.
like with this, they're showing us they have the capability of doing this. Just because someone's not in a title picture, that doesn't mean that they need to be backstage goofing around with the Miz. All right? Write them better stories. All right.
Yeah.
But the first one that we have is Jade versus Naomi.
Yeah. Cinema.
I don't know like that this is like accurate, but in my time of watching, I'm just gonna say like from what I've seen, this is the first non-title one-on-one women's match like in WrestleMania history.
Wow. That's amazing.
And I can't say that anybody deserves it more than Naomi. The run that she's on right now is ridiculous. Like she has always been like a solid hand and has been like really good, but they've never quite given her like that much to work with. Like she's got the glow character and people are excited about like she's so likable. She's a baby face. All she has to do is come out and glow and be nice to people and it's worked for her for like a decade. Showing this like proceed with caution, dark side, like
the evil
vengeful,
laugh.
like wanting to go and take what she deserves. Naomi, like this is my bold prediction, she's a world champion by the end of 2025. Like easy. Or whether it's the women's world title or the women's WWE championship, whoever's walking out of WrestleMania, y'all gonna have to deal with Naomi at some point. At some point in time. And Jade, like,
Jade's
this
a
is
superstar.
her first solo WrestleMania match. And when you consider like Jade's story and you consider like her AEW run and how like inexperienced she was and how she's come, and this is just like her second straight WrestleMania that she's on the card. Like who else has walked into the company and gotten 2 WrestleMania matches out the gate? Like Roxanne's been around for like 4 years now since she was like 18 and is walking into this weekend, no WrestleMania match, no stand and deliver match, and had like, if it wasn't Toni Storm, Roxanne might have been the best wrestler of 2024 women's. So that should just say something about Jade's star power. But Jade also just like, it seems like every time that we see her, she's improving.
Yeah.
Like her moves look amazing. Her presence, her presentation, her star power, it's all just like, people can get mad at her for being fast-tracked. People can say that she might not be ready. Every time that I see her on the screen, she looks like she belongs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she definitely does. She has that like it factor. She's a star.
And I'm glad that we're getting to see like Naomi be a heel. I felt like Jade probably was better suited to play the heel, but like seeing this range and this side of Naomi is like something new and refreshing. And it leaves like, if we do want to go the route of a Jade heel turn, that's still on the table later down the line. And like Jade's not necessarily like being like a goody two shoes. Like she's kind of
Definitely
a tweener.
not.
So if we wanted to like hit like a triple threat with her, Bianca and Naomi, if Bianca wins, I think that there's a lot of stories there.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Number 2.
Seth versus Punk versus Roman. For the custody of Paul Heyman.
For the custody of Paul Heyman. 3 jealous ex-boyfriends battle it out for their old sugar daddy.
Are they lovers?
Worse. Nah, man. This match, if we think about it, this all goes back to War Games. Roman needed someone to help fill out the Bloodline team. They tried to go to Seth. Seth was like, nah, man, I'm not ever working with you again. If Roman's ever in charge again, we're all going to die. And then they went with CM Punk. And CM Punk was like, I'll do this, but you owe me a favor. A few months later, everyone's at the Royal Rumble. I eliminate you. You screwed me. How did I screw you? Royal Rumble's every man for himself. I'll stomp you. You and me are still fighting. I'll stomp you.
I tried to kill Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins tried to kill me. That's my wise man. He's my best friend.
You owe me a favor.
It's like, I don't know why, but like, I want them to all just kiss already or fight. Or, I don't know, kill each other. I don't want to see any like two of them teaming up to help jump the other. Like this has to be blood feud.
They have
all
to
three of them
hate
have
each
to
other.
hate each other the whole match, and Paul Heyman has to some way, somehow, accidentally cause Seth Rollins to win. I think Seth has to win.
You think so?
Cause like,
you don't think Punk?
I think Punk is happy to be in the main event.
Yeah.
To Roman, this is just another day of work.
Yeah.
Roman's not laying down for anybody.
Yeah.
I think Seth is pinning Punk. And Paul Heyman is leaving with Roman.
I could see it happening.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But, like, even though this match is super exciting and we're excited to see how this happens, it's not the best build, I think. I think the match that has had the best build going into WrestleMania, unfortunately, is a match that we're not going to get. And that is Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Seeing KO and everything that's played out since last WrestleMania, where the two of them were in a triple threat match against Logan Paul, and we saw them like teaming up a lot, helping Cody with his like bloodline feud, and just seeing the slow burn of Kevin Owens and feeling betrayed by everyone that he like considered to be his closest friends, and seeing everyone just like go back and hang with the bloodline that has terrorized him for year after year after year. And the performances, like the Royal Rumble match, the ladder match versus Cody, the unsanctioned match versus Sammy in Canada.
Yeah,
and
some of the
doing
best.
all of that with like a fucked up neck. Not to mention Randy, where like for the last year, every
Randy
time
has a
he
fucked
looks
up neck too.
Every time he's looked at Cody for like the last year, he's like looking at the belt, and like there's just been like this subtle like, I have your back, I'm here for you, I was your mentor, and it's like a slow burn.
Yeah.
And it all led to like him picking Cody's side versus Kevin. I don't know. There's more to this story that's left to continue to unfold, and Backlash is next month in St. Louis, and I don't know who's going to end up fighting Randy, because he's still going to have a match. Like, it's been teased to be Nick Aldis. Tons of suggestions have been thrown out there. Again, like, when you fantasy book, you're going to get your feelings hurt. Randy Orton's not fighting Andrade. He's not fighting Sheamus. He's not fighting Carmelo Hayes. Yeah, I don't know. He's going to fight someone, and it's going to be dope. But either way, like, I know there's a lot of stuff that maybe we wanted to see, or maybe we wanted to see it get there in a different way. Like, I, for one, was foaming at the mouth at the idea of Rhea, Bianca, Io triple threat months ago. And we're getting it. Like, I know I'm not happy with how we're getting it, but we're getting it. And, like, for as much as we can sit here and be like, this is dog shit, why is this happening? WrestleMania is next week, and we're going to watch it, and it's probably going to fucking bang. And it's going to be a really good time. And we're going to go live and stream, and we're going to do all the things as far as, like, you know, enjoying it and just having this be like our Super Bowl and our universal experience where we can enjoy it with the rest of the wrestling community. So hopefully you guys are able to enjoy it as well. When we're live, hopefully you guys come watch with us, and we can just share in the comments and stuff. Like, what have you liked about the build to WrestleMania this year, and what are some things that you maybe have wanted to see go differently? Again, thanks for all the love, all the likes and subscribes and support that you guys constantly give us. I know that we haven't been making a lot of videos, but we got new setups, new equipment, new cameras, and we couldn't have done it without all of your support. So more stuff coming really soon. And yeah, we're super excited for WrestleMania.
Eat.